Hi friends, this is Caitlin, and today I am so excited to share with you my first time ever trying out some artist trading cards. Now, Sweet November Stamps is an amazing company, and I'm lucky enough to be on their design team, and they are hosting a Valentines themed Sweet November Stamps artist trading cards event, if you will. So they're inviting anyone who wants to participate to use either clear stamps or some of their digital stamps to make some really sweet little artist trading cards. You make 9 and send them in to Sweet November Stamps with $2 to cover return postage, or you can PayPal them, and I'll have all that information down below for addresses and all of that. But the goal is to get your cards to them by February 4th, and then they're going to mix them all up and send them back out so that everybody gets 9 other artists trading cards. I think that this is a super amazing and adorable way to celebrate Valentine's Day. It's just like when you're little and in school and you get to give out Valentines to your friends, and you get the surprise of seeing what everybody else did. To me, it's just very nostalgic of that, and I love it. So this is me sharing how I started out making my cards with you. So you could see I did all of my stamping in my MISTI, so that way I could set up my stamps and just plow through them and get all 9 knocked out. You could make 9 absolutely completely different trading cards, but I decided to use the same stamped images for all 9, and I'm just going to color them and give them different background scenes so that each one is still unique, but that I didn't have to come up with 9 separate complete ideas, but you do whatever makes you happy. For my little stamped images, I decided to pull out a Fairwee Summer Picnic, and that's what the little girl Fairwee is from. And then the Fairwee Summer Extension Pack had that little boy in his little dapper hat, his little newsboy cap. I love it so much. So I just put them out like they're having a sweet little Valentine's Day date out wherever they are and whatever different backgrounds I decide to give them. I'm probably going to lean a little bit springy for all of them just because they are in dresses and shorts and t-shirts. But I just think that they're so cute, just a sweet little couple enjoying a pretty day, spending time together. And so I set them so that they're facing each other, and then I started out coloring their skin tone and their outfits first, and then I will go in and build my little background scene around them. I do generally prefer to put my main characters, get their coloring out of the way. And I really wanted to give them some really fun and colorful outfits and coordinating outfits. And I think my goal for these cards is that each card will have the couples dressed in, similar patterns and things like that, but changing up the colors for each of them so that everybody's card is like a whole different color scheme. So I really love going in and adding a lot of shading and details to these dresses. You could see I went through and kind of really deepened up some of those lines, but you could easily make these as detailed or not as you want to. I also think that something like these trading cards are a great opportunity to let you practice your coloring and your freehand backgrounds. Because it's just this teeny tiny 2.5 by 3.5 rectangle, so it's not very intimidating. It's not like you have this giant canvas that you have to fill in, and you can make it very repetitive so that by the end of the day you are like a coloring master of whatever you put in your background. But it also is nice because it gives you a chance to kind of play and experiment too, if that's something that you really want to do. So I started out by coloring in the little girl's dress and the boy's shirt purple, and then I didn't really want them to have jeans, so I decided to pull in some of my E50s and E30s and went with kind of a khaki brown, kind of a warm brown tone that I thought would really complement the purple colors that I used. For his little hat, I decided to go kind of more cream, same for her little bloomers. So I colored that in cream to start, and then I'm going to go back in a minute and add some really fun patterning to that. So also his hair is super teeny tiny, so I just used a couple markers to fill in that space. And then for the little girl, I really wanted to accentuate her curls. So you can see I'm going in and just kind of following the artist drawn lines and adding in a few more defined curls. And again, I stuck with more of those warm brown, orangey kind of tones, just to kind of play up those purple. Orange and purple are complementary colors. And so they really will help to make each other pop. So now I'm going in with my lightest of my YG 90 markers to just start kind of sketching and defining what areas I want to be in my background. So that furthest up, the highest, I guess I should say, line is going to be my main horizon line. I learned from Amy, who is the artist behind Sweet November Stamps, a while ago, that when in doubt, using a horizon line around the eye level of your characters is very appealing, and it helps to kind of break your scene into thirds, which is always very appealing to the eye. So I created my main line there, and then you can see I went in and added little shadows under my little fairways. And now I'm going in with just my different gray markers to start building up layers to create some rolling hills behind them, and some definition in the grass. I didn't go too crazy with this. I really wanted my focus to be on my main characters. I also took that lightest green marker again and went through their wings so that when we go back in to add some color to those, you get kind of that sense of transparency. Without having to do a ton of detail or anything like that. So I'm just going in and blending, layering, working from my darkest to my lightest, and then sometimes back and forth, just to kind of play up and get the blend the way I wanted it. And now I'm adding in those really pretty light blue-green tones to their wings. That's my favorite colors to use for their wings. It lets enough color peek through without kind of taking over. And I decided to give them a really pretty little sunset. So I went through with my yellow markers, and you can see I'm kind of just making horizontal lines back and forth, kind of flicking my colors. And that way nothing is super strong, and you don't have to worry about banding when you're blending everything together. Because you can see now I'm going to go through with my lighter blue markers, and when you add in those flicks, to fill in the spaces between the yellow, everything kind of just meshes together. And you don't have to worry about over blending or driving yourself crazy. Skies are one of my biggest personal pet peeves. So definitely don't beat yourself up. But when you find a trick that really works for you, like something like that of doing them in those stripes to kind of create that cloud, streaky sunset feel, definitely use it to your advantage when you need to. So I'm now going in with a medium green marker in the same tones and adding in very roughly defined trees on my furthest back hill. And now I'm going in with it's very dark, a much darker green in that same family, and creating a few trees closer, a little bit in the foreground. So when you're creating your scenes like this and you're adding in something like trees, the further away from you they are, the lighter that they appear. So that's why I used a lighter marker for my farther trees and a darker marker for the ones that are close up. Now I'm going in with pink and green markers and just adding in tiny little dots so that it looks like some little buds blooming on the trees. And now I think this might be my favorite part of the whole card. Was adding in the patterning to his hat. So I took a light tan marker, and with the least amount of pressure I could, I just created a little checkerboard pattern back and forth, and then went back in with a white gel pen in between those checkers to create a plaid effect. I cleaned up anywhere that the white marker kind of went a little extra over the edge with a black Copic marker. And now I am die cutting out my scene with a little double stitch rectangle die that is just a little bit more narrow than my 2.5 by 3.5, and that works perfectly because I think that this is so sweet to have this kind of matted on this black card. So I'm taking a white gel pen to put my information on the back. I just put my name, my Instagram handle, the title of the event, the Sweet November Stamps ATC swap. and then the date and the number of cards. So 1 of 9, and then I'll have 2 of 9 and 3 of 9. So I just think that this turned out so amazing. I had so much fun doing these. They're really great too because I can pick one up whenever I have a free minute and color on it and then put it to the side and back and forth until I have everything done. So I hope that you are so excited to join me in this. I really hope you're feeling inspired. Definitely check out all of the information in the description box below. I'll have all of the colors that I use listed there, as well as all the information that you need to participate in this swap. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you more than you will ever know. I hope that you have an amazing week, and as always, happy crafting.